I do think there's a distinct lack of shame in society.
And you always knew the bad news was coming with Todd, because he'd go, here's the thing. And he said, we're going to lose the orchestra.
Blake Lively used to glide through premieres the way a diamond-cut spotlight travels across a velvet stage. Flawless, blinding, untouchable. But Hollywood has a strange habit. The brighter the glare, the longer people stare, and the sooner they spot the cracks.
You know, it's sometimes good to be really simple. I mean, Matisse says this fantastic thing. It's just, don't try and be original.
Today, those cracks are widening into fault lines, and the tremor at their epicenter has a name almost spoken in a whisper. Cate Blanchett. Cate Blanchett didn't just walk into Chanel's marble corridors. She floated in on a decade-long breeze of Oscar gold, theater bravado, and an aura critics like to call severe grace. In 2021, she signed a multi-season Women in Cinema contract. Nothing loud, just a legacy short scripted by her husband, shot in grainy black and white, 2 actresses, no dialogue, pure subtext. The fittings happened, the Paris dinner was inked, the teaser reels were color-graded. Then, 48 hours before cameras rolled, Blanchett's team received a 6-line email. Creative direction shifted. Thank you for your artistry. No apology, no reschedule, just a digital guillotine. The next morning, paparazzi lenses caught Blake Lively sweeping into Chanel's Rue Cambon studio, wearing archival tweed and a smile sharp enough to slice silk.
All right, Blake Lively is out and about in the UK promoting her one simple favor.
No, they're so look at these. They match my outfit. Look at those nails. Wow. Aren't they incredible?
But Paris was only the prologue. Humiliation loves an audience, and Chanel had saved her worst seat for Blanchett. Imagine walking into a candlelit salon expecting your name in gold leaf on the program, only to find it replaced by someone else's Tiffany blue monogram. March 2023, Chanel's private dinner. Blanchett sits 3 tables away from Lively, who is busy describing Blanchett's husband's script as a beautiful relic that Gen Z won't stream past 12 seconds. The words land like ice water. Blanchett doesn't flinch, but a photograph of her downturned eyes hits Twitter within minutes under the hashtag #LetKateSpeak. Chanel's PR fires back with silence, a strategy that works until it doesn't.
About much. And the more I do, in a way, I think the less I know.
2 weeks later, a British fashion monthly accidentally publishes its pre-Blanchett exit feature, crediting Blanchett for concept, creative, and muse. The article lives online for exactly 3 hours, just long enough for screenshots to metastasize across Reddit. By sunset, Blake stole Cate's crown trends, #1 in the UK. Cate stays silent, but silence in her hands is a scalpel, precise, patient, and eventually lethal. June 2023. Sydney Theatre Company. No press junket, no Instagram countdown, just a play titled The Credit. Note the lowercase, note the sting. 2 characters dissect what it means to have your life's work hijacked by a louder soul. Critics rave. Chanel executives send congratulatory orchids that arrive mysteriously wilted. During a Berlin Humanitarian Award later that year, Blanchett finally slips the knife. There are 2 ways to approach a story: honor it or hoard it. The room exhales, the internet inhales. Blake Lively's team drafts statements they never send. A single wound would be gossip. A pattern becomes a dossier, and Hollywood was suddenly flooded with footnotes to Blake's headline. Gossip Girl, 2009. Crew whispers about freezing temperatures on set whenever Blake and Leighton Meester shared a scene. A 2017 resurfaced panel shows Blake joking that Meester came into the world behind bars and comparing secondary cast, monkeys in a cage. Laughter on stage, silent grimaces off it. Fast forward to 2011. Guest star Armie Hammer lists creative friction as the reason he begged producers to write him out early. Years later, he admits, filming was a battlefield, not a set. And then there's Penn Badgley, the idealistic misfit allegedly branded difficult by Blake long before the director yelled, "Action." One streaming clip after another gathers dust until now. Now they look like puzzle pieces. And while old ghosts rattled, a brand new monster crawled into daylight. A $400 million lawsuit with Justin Baldoni's name stamped on every page. April 24, 2025, Entertainment Weekly flashes the headline. Blake Lively cites retaliatory harassment in explosive suit against Justin Baldoni. Baldoni swings back within 24 hours, accusing Lively, Reynolds, and publicist Cynthia Marks of defamation and civil extortion, demanding an eye-watering $400 million. Court docs reveal a poison pill clause. Should Baldoni's public image sour beyond repair, he forfeits directing rights to the It Ends With Us sequel. Blogs claim Lively has already pitched herself to author Colleen Hoover as the perfect female lens. Both camps deny, countersue, and retreat behind NDA-laced fortresses. Social sentiment tracker Social Blade records a 22% dip in Lively's engagement the week the filings go public. In crisis PR, you either pivot or perish. Lively chooses the stage, the Time 100 Gala stage. Draped in iridescent green, Blake tells a ballroom of power brokers that her mother once survived an unspeakable assault. It's raw, heartfelt, undeniably human, and yet critics call it strategic vulnerability, a shield against the Baldoni inferno engulfing her feeds. Ryan Reynolds applauds from the first row. Cameras catch him whispering, "Proud of you." Twitter replies toggle between admiration and skepticism. Is this empathy or optics? Meanwhile, Cate Blanchett is nowhere near that stage. She's in Iceland, scouting locations for an eco-thriller backed by A24, and ironically co-funded by Chanel's new sustainability fund. Industry newsletter. The Ankler leaks that Chanel paused Phase 2 of Lively's ambassador campaign pending recalibration. Translation, too hot to handle. Stock analysts predict no revenue hit, but brand equity consultants warn of narrative volatility. Lively's camp readies a summer social push. Blanchett's camp releases nothing. No statement, no subtweet, just a promotional still from Tipping Point. Glacier cliffs glowing behind her. Sometimes the absence of noise is the loudest sound in the room. Hollywood loves an origin story, but it worships a redemption arc. Blake Lively still commands a billion-dollar box office footprint and a social army millions strong. Cate Blanchett, the queen of subdued retaliation, just proved that legacies can't be hijacked without consequences. As lawsuits inch toward trial and Chanel plots its next move, one question hovers like a boom mic just out of frame. Will Blake rewrite her narrative before the credits roll? Or has Cate already directed the final scene? So, whose strategy wins? Blake's high-gloss resilience or Cate's quiet precision? Drop your verdict in the comments, smash that like button if you crave more deep-dive Hollywood exposés, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next chapter of this unfolding saga.